Hello, everybody, and welcome. Episode 15 of the Super Mega Riftbound Podcast coming your way. We got Unleashed spoilers to talk about today. A lot of cool things happening in the space. Let's dive right in.
Hello, everyone. Like Eli said, episode 15. We have so much to talk about. So many new cards.
Oh, man.
But we haven't seen you guys or talked to you guys in 2 weeks. We have last 2 weeks in Riftbound. Gail, we'll start with you. What have your last 2 weeks in Riftbound looked like?
Did I do the skirmish last week?
It's 2 weeks. It's
2 weeks ago. Okay, well,
yeah, it would have been 2 weeks ago. So you
I did get to win a skirmish with my Aggro Irelia, which
Woo.
I was playing a new experimental version of it.
Ooh.
Including Emperor's Dais, the battlefield. I've been having a lot of success with that one.
I love that card.
Yeah, I think it's a sick battlefield. And then this week, we're pretty much just waiting for announcements on bans to really start working more on Atlanta practice. So I've been playing a lot of set 3, going in with my new Bay LeBlanc.
I think that's everyone's new Bay, to be totally honest with you. The amount of LeBlancs that I've seen come into practice is a lot higher than any of the other legends I've seen so far, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, how about you, Eli?
Ooh.
How was your last 2 weeks in Riftbound been?
Yeah, so I've been knocked out this last week at least. My whole family has norovirus, so that's a blast. If I seem a little bit lower energy this episode, blame it on that. It's fine. But yeah, so didn't get to do much last week, but the week before got to go to a couple of locals. There was a really cool thing that one of our local community members did where they were setting up a little 3-deck challenge for one of the Nexus nights that was going to happen, where you brought 3 different decks and you couldn't share any cards between them, and you played all of them one round out of the 3 that you played that night. I was very upset I had to miss that, but I just
that never happened. He didn't show up.
Oh, it never happened.
not trying to call you out. That's Megatron. You know who you are.
Hysterical.
But yeah, he didn't actually come, so that's happening this coming weekend.
Oh, okay, perfect. So next,
I'm building.
I will get
I'm building Rumble as my 3rd deck, guys, because that's the only 2 colors I have left.
Yeah, I have some fun stuff planned as well. I was sad I was going to miss it, but now I don't have to miss it, so that's nice. But yeah, just wanted to shout that out. I love cool little things like that you can do as a community to really push the game forward, especially because like a lot of people don't have all of the money for the cards still, considering that the game is still pretty expensive, especially for those more Origin staple stuff that you're looking at. So it's cool to have a little deck building challenge like that go down.
Yeah, Gail, you got to pull up next Wednesday.
Wednesday? That's choir day.
Oh, right. That is choir day.
On Wednesdays.
It is choir day.
What about you, Teddy? Last 2 weeks in Riftbound. 1 week you couldn't.
1 week spent in a different country. I was in Belgium for spring break the past 2 weeks, or not past 2 weeks, but last week. Lots of traveling, lots of jet lag. Flights got delayed. I was stuck in Chicago for 2 days unexpectedly. Also stuck. Like I got stuck at O'Hare. I think I was in O'Hare for 24 hours straight at some point. It was not a good.
That's crazy.
The trip was great. Trip was fantastic. But the travel was kind of crazy. But got back. I got myself resituated. And yeah, just been starting to theorize for set 3. I played locals last night. My brain, like halfway through, just shut off. I did not know what I was doing. I was just putting cards down and hoping they would work, and it didn't work.
That's never a recipe for success.
So, like my first game, I was playing. I played Fiora Hook into Lux, and I think I played every single card I could have and he just had spell after spell after spell after spell. And I stole his Vanguard armory with auction so many times, and he got it back because he killed the auction. So yeah, they were good games though. I was happy I went, happy to see everyone again. Yeah, that was my last 2 weeks in Riftbound. I'm excited. I'm finally home. I have 5 weeks left until I graduate, and then it's officially grind season for Richmond. Is that the next one? No.
Atlanta?
No, for me at least. I'm going to the one in the summer. That's right.
Okay.
Is it? No, it's not Richmond. Where is it?
Going to
if you're not going to Lille.
No, I'm not going to Lille. I'm thinking of the one in Cincinnati. I guess Cincinnati, yeah. When is that?
May 12th?
Oh, it's the weekend after release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first set 3, which will be crazy because it'll be
very crazy.
Well, I don't know because I graduate the weekend before that, and I have to take off work, and so I don't know if I can get off work 2 Saturdays in a row.
Yeah,
So
we'll
that's
see, but very exciting that you should be able to hopefully.
bless you.
Sorry, get to some events
Yeah,
coming
I
up
know.
here
Finally.
pretty
Um,
shortly.
but yeah, other than that, we have a lot to talk about today. We are going to jump into just the legend packages that we have so far. We think this is probably the best place to start for the set because we're starting to get an idea of all 12 legends that we have and what decks are going to look like, what new we have a lot of new archetypes that we'll get into later in the episode with XP and uh, we have like Ivern, which is all these bird poro stuff. Um, Lots of fun stuff. But we're gonna start Gale. We each have 4 legends. We're gonna talk about 4 legend packages. We're gonna talk about Gale, and we'll kick it to you now to kick
Yeah.
off your legends.
So I'm going to read for you each of the cards that we currently have for the legends, and then I'm going to talk about the decks holistically and not necessarily the cards as their own. I'm going to give you an overview of what decks we're seeing, what the archetypes are going, and where these decks are looking to be headed. So first we have Leblanc. Her legend, she is a Mind and Order legend. And it reads, when you conquer or hold, you may discard 1 and exhaust me to play a ready reflection unit token there. It becomes a copy of another unit there. Give it temporary. So essentially what she's doing is she's taking a card out of her hand to make a copy of another unit that conquered or held at that place, exhausting herself to do it. This has a few implications in the rules, but generally this is happening in such a way that it doesn't get when you play me triggers, but it will get death knells when it dies from the temporary. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with this. Obviously, copying effects can get crazy, so this is going to be a deck builder's dream. Her chosen champion that we currently have is Leblanc, everywhere at once, which is, by the way, guys, good luck for these epithet quizzes, okay?
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
what
they
is
got
this?
out of pocket this set.
These
And they're
things
gonna
are
get worse.
crazy. Anyway, this is Leblanc, everywhere at once. 4 energy, 4 might. Leblanc Noxus tag with backline, which is a new keyword that we've given. It is essentially the same wording that we've had on Caitlyn and Soraka in the past, meaning that they get assigned combat damage last. And her text is, your temporary effects on my battlefield don't trigger.
Busted.
So what we can do with this in Leblanc is we can put this Leblanc unit on a battlefield where we've already used our legend on. So we have this temporary unit, but now it's basically a real unit. It won't trigger the temporary so long as Leblanc remains in the battlefield with it, meaning that we can turn her, temporary might into permanent might. Semi-permanent because, it's attached to the unit, but you get the point. And the signature spell is Mirror Image. It is a 3 energy, 2 power card with 2 power spell with choose a unit, play a ready reflection unit token to your base. It becomes a copy of that unit. So just imagine it's the exact same thing as her legend. Give it temporary. So the same thing as her legend, except this can choose any unit. It doesn't have to just be your own. So you can use this to copy the opponent's unit as well, which can add some very interesting individual matchup knowledge as we get further down the line with more precise decks and such. Very cool card. Overall,
I didn't even realize you could do. I didn't read that. I didn't realize you could do opponent's unit.
Oh yeah,
yes,
insane! Yep. I didn't put that together.
Units, and importantly, differently from the legend as well, Gale. Legend is when you conquer or hold, so it has to be at a battlefield. Mirror Image is specifically to your base. So the ready portion of the card does a lot more leg work than on the Leblanc legend.
I've copied an opponent's Jhin Meticulous Artist, Jhin Murderous Artist, or whatever it is, to make power.
Come on, epithet man.
Yeah. I'm
Get it together.
To make a power, and then I move into the battlefield to conquer, make another copy of him, and now I have 2 energy, 2 power that I'm playing with a unit that I can't even play in my colors. It's very cool.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing for this deck as a whole, we're seeing a baited hook package appear for her, where they're using the hook as a way to turn her temporary units into real power by, hooking them away. The tokens, because they're copies, keep the cost and keep their might, so they read them as what they should be as the copy, which is very cool. This will matter for other cards like Otacon, which is a card that can be played and reduces its cost by the cost of the unit that it sacrifices. A little abridged version for that card. So there's a lot of neat interactions with the baited hook. We can also see a value-generating LeBlanc deck without hook, where it's mainly just playing good valued 2-for-1 units, and using those copies and making real units with those just to have full board dominance, and using great draw cards like the new Sacrifice, which can be used at reaction speed to kill a mighty unit and have you channel 1 rune exhausted and draw 2 cards. So lots of value proposition in this deck. We've seen a few aggro versions as well, where they're just flooding the board with 2s and making use of Windswept Hillock, giving things ganking so they can double conquer. Lots of cool things to do with this legend. We have not seen the most of her in the slightest.
No. She has a million ways to build this deck.
A million
ways.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And we don't even.
I personally went toward the Windswept Hillock build at first because I'm an aggro player. It's just going to happen. But I personally am thinking that the non-hook like mid-range value deck might just be better. It's pretty interesting.
That's where I've started with. I'm playing Riptide Rexes, Harness Drakes. And even if I don't get the When You Play Me's, you can sort of read her legend as when you conquer, make a Raza.
Yeah,
it's like that's pretty good.
I think obviously we still have to see what the yellow champion is, but I don't see a world where the blue one isn't played. I think the yellow one will be good. It'll probably be played if it gives something somewhat valuable at the temporary. Like maybe
if the yellow is better than the blue, there's a huge problem.
That's another design issue.
What people are doing with the blue one as well is they're just making copies of her, and because the copies have her text, they won't die so long as they're on battlefields. So you just leave behind all of these 4 Might LeBlanc temporary copies that just stay on the battlefields. You have the real one in base ready to just replace whenever another one dies. It's a very interesting, very cool deck. There's a lot to do with it, and we will see where she lands in the future. But next, we have Pyke, the Blood Harbor Ripper. I was reading the other one that sounds like a legend title.
Butcher. Yeah.
This is Pyke, the Blood Harbor Ripper. He is a Fury and Chaos legend with the text activated ability, costs 1 energy and exhausts him. Return a friendly unit at a battlefield to its owner's hand. Play a gold gear token exhausted. So generally, the game plan here is to either use cards that enter the battlefield quickly, like a sneaky deckhand, or hidden cards that have an effect when you rehide them, to get value not only from bouncing them, and to add a sort of perspective value with the gold. You can play him as a sort of semi-control deck that's using value to go up to Baron, or you can use him as a super aggro trying to get value from bouncing your effects. His first chosen champion we have is Pyke Returned. He has Pyke and Bilgewater tags. He has Hidden and Backline. And once each turn, when an enemy unit dies while I'm at a battlefield, play a gold gear token exhausted. So lots of gold generation here. This one is what we figured would be the chosen champion, just because it was a 3 energy, no power, 3 might unit, which is very great. But it immediately got power crept by its friend, Pyke, Dockside Butcher.
Can I just say, like, the difference in the epithets here, Returned and then Dockside Butcher?
Yeah, like, they've gone off the wall. They've gone off the wall with some of these epithets, but I think it'll make them easier to guess. Like, if I say Dockside Butcher, it's not Vex.
It's pretty obviously Pyke.
Yeah. Anyway, he has a 3 energy, 2 might Fury unit with Pyke and Bilgewater tags. Which, side note, I have to say the tags every time now because we got a card that actually cares about the tags. So now I have to say the tags for everything. Thanks, Riot. Anyway.
You knew it was coming at some point.
I know. He has Hidden, and he has Ganking. And you may pay a Fury power as an additional cost to play me. And when you play me, if you paid the additional cost, ready me and give me +2 might this turn. So we are looking at a deck that is trying to focus on the hidden bouncing aspect that I mentioned earlier. You can either use it as a way to sort of forestall the opponent's tempo or use it as a value generation for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems pretty good. It's purple, red. Always will be good. Obviously, this is definitely going to be a deck that is going to see what happens with these bans. Obviously, I think if somehow Ezreal and Cold Shot don't get banned, Cold Shot I think is gone. I'll say that now.
Yeah.
But if I still think we see, we have to see, for me at least with this deck, what it's going to look like after bans and what actually gets banned, because then I think that is going to determine this deck. But with the gold generation and with everything else, I think this deck is still going to be rather solid. And purple is still getting a bunch of great stuff. It has a counter spell now that's actually just great. And so it's like, Good deck. I think it'll be good.
I think this is just better Teemo, personally.
Yeah.
I think it gives me that.
Don't tell Gord
Whoa,
that.
whoa.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Okay.
it has better colors, right? It has better colors than Teemo. I think.
Okay,
the
I know the
purple-red
thumbnail.
is far
Gale's
better.
face is going to be the thumbnail.
Far better than purple blue, in my opinion. And that might be because I hate Ezreal, but I think that the hidden value that this deck can generate, with both Pikes being hideable and a lot of really strong hidden cards in these colors, can make this deck incredibly potent. Teemo had the advantage of having a 2-drop instead of a 3-drop, so that is really relevant when you're talking about an aggressive strategy. But I think in the same realm that Teemo went kind of toward the mid-range holding type strategy, this deck doesn't actually need to do that too much. It can play aggro holds with a lot of these hidden units specifically, which I think is really, really cool. I'm calling, that's my called shot. That might get banned, but I think that this deck is probably going to play pretty similar to Teemo in its final incarnation, with a little bit more tempo.
I played a Pyke deck. I made a Pyke deck, and I was like, wow, this is doing really cool things. And then I put all of it into Teemo, and it was immediately better.
There you go.
Because, like, Pyke is giving me delayed gold value. Teemo is giving me immediate power value, because it's an energy instead of a power now.
Definitely.
So I get that
building it
next turn.
If you're building it specifically for hidden cards, I would agree with you. But I think that Pyke isn't built specifically for hidden cards. The hidden cards just add value to the value proposition that Pyke Hero operates under. I think that the ETBs that you can use, especially if we get any more revealed or as we scale on throughout the sets, are going to be
we know how much Riot loves their purple. It's when we get them.
Not even just purple, just the red as well.
Too.
Probably have some okay ETBs over time, just because of like how the color operates. Mm-hmm. So I think Pyke is only a legend that's going to get better as sets go on, with us getting more powerful ETBs, or even like some other card games, we're going to get effects that are when I leave the board. They aren't death knells.
If we get that, if we get things like that, I can be with you. However,
when I leave the board effects are very, very strong with effects like this.
Yeah.
Knowing that the team that is designing Riftbound is pretty in cahoots with a lot of Magic the Gathering pros, that effect type is very prevalent in Magic.
Yes.
So I think that this could be our intro into seeing those effects be printed into these colors.
If we get that, I'd change my tune a little bit. But until we see any semblance of this mechanic existing, no. Let me know in the comments below if you're Team Eli or Team Gale.
It's not even too much an argument. I'm just trying to look ahead into the future.
I wave my white flag.
Could be pretty and on to the next one. We have Vex, Gloomist.
Oh boy.
She is the Calm Chaos legend and is one of the ones that we have the least tools for so far. Her legend is, when you or an ally hold, you may exhaust me to draw 1. And this is all that we have of her so far. But even this has already started to paint a picture for us with Vex. Currently, what we are playing with is we have Vex, the legend, and then we have the set 2 Vex that we've all seen and loved from facing in Ezreal's in all of our skirmishes that last an hour and 30 minutes each round. And we're using this to be a hold-centric Chaos Calm deck, which is something we haven't really seen before, but we've seen, like, in the early days of Yasuo, this is a lot of people are doing. They're trying to put down a 2-drop and then put a Sona on it and then sort of protect that with Yasuo and then have the ability to gank over. So we've seen this deck archetype trying to take a foothold, and I think it'll finally land fully with Vex being able to, like, have a reason to do it. And so far, it's been pretty good. We've seen a lot of use of Vile Maw, which is a new card, a new bomb that Calm has, basically. It's an 8 might unit with Ambush that makes it so that any unit there that isn't bigger than it isn't going to do combat damage, enemy unit specifically. So we're using a lot of that to sort of create the pressure for Vex. I don't know exactly where she'll land. I think this legend itself is generally pretty weak, just because 1 card a turn is not better than 3 a turn that Draven gets.
This is what Draven should have been.
Yeah.
The exhaust should have been on Draven, is my
opinion.
I like this legend thought, but I think it is executed under power level of where it probably needs to be to do this kind of strategy.
I think we're just gonna have these though in every set that's just like, oh, yeah, that's okay. Like
We
you
could
have to
change our
have
tune
those.
though. She could have an absolutely insane signature and
That's
couple
true.
of champions to get revealed,
And-
right? It could be totally different.
And the thing about her legend is there's no like downside. We don't have to really change our deck building too much for her. It's like, yeah, we have to focus a little bit more on holding, but that's already something that these colors really want to do. Really, truly, it is. Like these colors are really good at that.
You can bring a lot of the green Ari package into this, and like the hold Ari package from green, like Sona and all that stuff to try to really force your hand to be able to do that. Because I think the thing that some of these decks can struggle with is rune management and like keeping runes up at least. Because I feel like at least I know Gale, you and I play different versions of Aurelia, but like especially with Aurelia, like I feel like I'm always you have to play spells on your turn to be able to help save Aurelia, and Aurelia I know is different than what Vex will be doing, but being able to get those runes back up with Sona is, I think, going to be a big thing for this, and be able to stay in combat and stay on battlefields and win combats.
Yeah, so I think she's a very different flavor to the green purple like menagerie that we've gotten. Not necessarily my flavor though.
Yep. I will say on your point about Vialmoz, that card is a menace. All of these ambush effects that you can use in the beginning phase specifically, because we got a lot more beginning phase triggers this set, are really interesting to me and definitely fun to play around with. Because I know, like, I just had a game not too long ago where my opponent's sprite died on their beginning phase, and I used the react trigger from their sprite dying to drop just like a huge creature onto the battlefield to shore that thing up. Because they tried to do some beginning phase shenanigans with that new battlefield that deals 1 damage to everything. Yeah, and so I was able to just insulate that battlefield and ended up winning like the next turn from the hold point it generated. So definitely a lot more reaction speed stuff this set, and a lot more stuff happening earlier into the turns that make it a little bit more dicey to get through the early stages of the game. It's fun.
Yeah.
Moving on, we will go to Jhin the Virtuoso. Jin's one of my favorite characters. He's actually in my top 5 of champions, so I was super excited to see him. Less excited to read him. This is Jhin, the Fury Mind legend. He has, when you play a spell, if you spent 4 energy or more, I'm going to repeat that. If you spent 4 energy or more, you may banish it. Then, if there are 4 spells banished with me, put each in its trash. Channel 4 runes and draw 1. So very strange formatting here, first of all.
Yep.
It will only trigger if you spent the 4 energy. I said this about 3 times, but it's very important. People keep missing this. You cannot play Promising Future into another 4-cost spell, and that 4-cost spell, which you paid 0 for, does not count for Jhin.
Yep. It says spent. That's the keyword.
And you also cannot have a banished card from another source count for it as well. So you can't play Time Warp, put it in the banished zone, and have that count towards Jhin. He has to spend it, and he has to use his own effect on it in order for this to count.
Yep.
And the payoff for it is to channel 4 runes. Notably, they aren't exhausted, so they do come in ready, and he draws 1. However, this legend's kind of just a downgrade from Kaisa in general, but we'll get to that at the end of the package. The next one we have is his rare, which is Jhin, Murderous Artist, who has the tags Jhin and Ionia. He is a 4 energy, 1 red power, 4 might unit. He has deflect, ganking, and when I move, add 1 energy, 1 power. Very cool card.
Very, very. Yep.
I
would wager to say very strong card.
Yes.
That will be
Very,
played in a
very
lot of
strong.
decks that aren't even Jhin related.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be played the least in Jhin because we're not going to see Jhin too much.
Yeah.
Purple. He's put in purple, and now he
Yeah.
moves a million times, and now he made a billion. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a cool card. Very cool card for Jhin to have and for everyone else to have. His other CC is Jhin, Meticulous Killer. This one is a 4 energy, 4 might unit with vision. And if you spent 4 energy or more to play a spell this turn, you may play me for 1 mind power. So essentially, we have Mind's Nocturne.
Yeah,
which
it's
I
really
think
good
is
in
great.
Lux.
Oh
Really
yeah,
good in
this card's
Lux.
great. This card's fantastic. This card's good in Kaisa. This card's good in Lux. I think this is supposed to be your CC in Jhin. In fact, just to have this early tempo is insane. The fact that it's like a Nocturne with vision is like really good. This card's fantastic.
Also, no
like it a
power
lot.
cost, which I find crazy, to be honest with you. I
Well,
would have.
The way you're gonna play it, you're gonna pay the
always
power
gonna
cost.
pay
Well,
the
I
power
know.
to play it.
I know, but I still think like I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have batted an eye at least if there was a blue power cost on this card. That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess just make it like Nocturne cost, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool card.
Yeah, very strong card. I like this card a lot.
Now his signature, this one's a doozy. Strap in, everyone. This one is Curtain Call. Hold on, I kept clicking the alt art. Anyway, this is Curtain Call, Jhin signature spell. It is a 4 energy spell with repeat, and this is separated with a 1 energy, 1 power, and 1 energy and 1 power. So you can repeat it for each of those costs. I'm still unsure if you have to do it sequentially or not. The jury's out on that currently. We'll have to wait for 1.3 to get the ruling on that. That being said,
yeah, that's right.
I would think not too, but this formatting for repeat is, I don't think, even legal right now.
It's brand new.
Yeah. This formatting doesn't work in our rules currently, so it's kind of strange. I would assume sequentially. That's how I've been playing the card and thinking of the card. It doesn't change much if it's not, though, so nah. Anyway, its effect. Choose one you haven't already chosen. Draw 1. Deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield. Deal 3 to a unit at a base. And give a unit at a battlefield -4 might this turn. So at most, what this card can be doing for 6 energy and 2 power, you draw a card, deal 6, quote unquote, to a unit at a battlefield, and deal 3 to a unit at a base. It has a lot of modality to it, so there's a lot of choices, but it also has a lot of restrictions on it, namely being specifically battlefield and base for all of its effects. Can lead it to be pretty awkward. I'm not super high on this card in general, but it does allow us to see what Jhin is wanting to do, right? It is a 4-cost spell. It has modes. It's very nice to put in. Generally,
I'd probably just play Singularity over this card.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. Every time I try to compare it, like each one of the modes, I'm like not super excited for. 4 energy to deal 3 to a unit at a base, that sounds bad. 6 and 2 to be like a more restrictive Singularity that draws me a card. I would just rather have the target freedom of Singularity and the extra 3 damage. Like it's weird.
And this being defiable too. Like
let's
not even get on. Oh gosh, that
in
would be
in a color
brutal.
with no defy protection.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't really see this being play in Jhin. I think it's just too slow in my opinion as well. I don't think if you're gonna like take a whole turn to do this, like you said, Gale, it's just not going to be able to clear much off the board at that point in the game. I would imagine it'll probably be able to clear like a few things, like a 2-drop that someone may just have left in hand that they wanted to get on board. But I think if you play this, it's just gonna, I don't know. I'd just rather play Singularity. I'd rather play Riptide Rex over this. I'd rather play a lot of things that give you. I know Rex is kind of limited to battlefield, but even like.
And he's not a spell, so I don't get the channeled 4.
Well, yeah.
True. You're not banishing Riptide Rex for Jhin there.
Yeah. I know.
I think we'll have to play it in Jhin just for plurality of these cards, and it's not a bad card for that. It's just not the most efficient.
Yeah.
In general, what we've been seeing from a Jhin deck is very control heavy, very Kaisa-like. I've seen some people be putting in like Phoenixes and things like that.
Yep.
And then there is potential for like a combo Jhin deck to happen in the future, where we are utilizing the extra 4 runes coming in readied as a way to sort of end the game with like time warp shenanigans or whatever, what have you. Generally, though, I think this deck is just like a cosplaying Kaisa in the worst way possible, where Kaisa is giving you immediate value every time you play the spell. Jin's value is delayed to a point in the game, and it's basically the same number as what Kaisa would be. If you imagine you spent a power for each one of these, Kaisa would be giving you that power earlier, and so you can use that energy sooner than what Jhin will be able to. So generally, this deck is really lacking to me, but it's not bad on its own. Like, it's fine. It's just like horizontally down a step from Kaisa.
Mm-hmm.
As a control deck, it also doesn't hit on Jin's like character.
Yeah.
For me, it just doesn't hit that same wavelength that I've been on with a lot of the other characters, really emulating their characters from League of Legends.
Yeah.
This Jhin doesn't really do that for me, unfortunately.
100%.
I don't see Jhin as a control deck. I see Jhin as a very aggressive bully type champion that kind of out tempos you, does more damage than you, and then kind of falls off toward the later stages of the game. And this doesn't really feel like that.
It's like the reverse of that almost.
I mean, I can see him as a control deck. That's very much like him to like set up the kill, right?
Yeah. Oh,
like
100%.
If we are orchestrating a game in such a way that we get to this one moment and everything goes right for us, like I see Jhin being a combo deck, really, which is what I think
that would make a lot more sense to me as a combo deck than any kind of control deck.
And I think this is what this is thinking it is. Like I think maybe they thought this was a combo deck, but in play it just ends up being a value generating control deck. Maybe there's a combo we haven't seen yet. But
I mean, Meticulous Killer tells me that it wants to be a tempo deck, right? Because it wants to put its best foot out, and it wants to play its guy and get the tempo of, I played a spell and I'm playing my unit turn 2, turn 3. Like that's strong. He just doesn't have the other tools for that. His legend just doesn't give that vibe either. And so it's kind of difficult to look at it. I also am a big Jhin fan. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Specifically because like he's just I used to do professional theater, as I've said on the podcast before, and Jhin hits everything that you want out of a theater type character in a game. Very cool, very well designed. This just doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah, I think last thought before we move on. I think now, like kind of sitting here and thinking about this, it's just, I mean, I don't know thematically, obviously, but I think now I'm thinking about it, like if you're trying to build a control deck, you have obviously those late game spells, but you also have stuff like Watcher and that type of stuff that help you win late. And like you guys said, it just doesn't feel like you're gonna. I feel like you're gonna be making a lot of tough decisions that aren't gonna, like, they'll feel great in the moment, but are they going to actually, like Eli, you said, it's wanting to be a tempo deck? Is that gonna help? Is that gonna make you fall behind in tempo? We don't have all the cards in the set. I believe we're like maybe like a little over 100 cards. I could be wrong. I could be way off on that. But
100 sounds right to me. Okay. I did like 30 for each of the first 3 videos and then 10 for this last one. So that sounds about right.
So like we still have over 100 cards left to go. I think a good theme with this entire video is take these with a little grain of salt, just because there are so many like ways that these decks could change with one or two cards that come out in the next week or so.
We'll update you. We'll update you next week if things come out. And then
do we know when reveals are over? Has that been said anywhere?
I don't remember.
I believe it's like the 23rd. I'm pretty sure.
23rd. So,
but I will.
I thought it was only 2 weeks, but I don't know.
I 100% believe by the time we record next week, we will have nearly all the cards. So we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, that was Jhin. Gale, those were your 4 legends.
Yep.
You want to tell us about yours?
I will. And actually, I was totally wrong. It's the 27th.
Oh, we got 2
weeks.
We're
going until the 27th. So next Friday.
Next Friday.
Okay.
So 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. All right. Yeah, I've got some stuff to talk us through here. First off, we got the person that everyone was excited to see come in, especially those Arcane fans, Vi, Piltover Enforcer. She is a Fury Order legend. Vi tag, that's about it. When you conquer, if you assign 3 or more excess damage, you may exhaust me to ready a unit. It's pretty interesting legend ability. We haven't seen something like it before, so it's kind of trailblazing on that front. And we haven't seen a lot of things care about excess damage, only a couple of cards. So this is definitely trying to break itself into new territory. And to go with that, we have Vi Hot-Headed, a champion unit, 4 energy, 3 power. It is a Vi and a Zon with Deflect as the keyword, and 2 energy, 1 power, double my might this turn. So there's been a lot of talk about this card online. A lot of people are saying that like the breakpoints for this card are really good. I'm a little bit less sold on it, to be totally honest with you.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think it's definitely an interesting card, and once it gets like 1 equipment on it, like that makes the breakpoint just crazy on it from a just might perspective, obviously. But you are putting so many resources into this. You are dumping it. It doesn't have actually any innate movement, which is something that I thought Vi would have, to be totally honest with you. So you're going to be using the Vi Legend to move back the Vi Champion unit would be the idea behind it if you deal that excess damage. But that means that you're probably going in with the Vi to deal that excess damage. And then if they have like a hidden blade or any kind of removal for the Vi, you just spend all of your resources on it. The deflect cost doesn't really matter to your opponent when you've already spent that much energy on it yourself. So just an interesting unit to be sure, but I personally would probably still be, until we see whatever the yellow one that comes out is, I'd still be on the original Vi in my chosen champion zone.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Hextech Gauntlets. So Hextech Gauntlets is a 3 energy signature equipment, which I think this is a very cool card. The Vi tag as well. It is equip 3 energy and 1 power. This ability's energy cost is reduced by the might of the unit you chose. The weapon text is when I conquer, if you assigned 3 or more excess damage, draw 1, and it gives +3 might. I think that this card is very good. I think that it is a very good equipment. Probably one of the better equipments that we've seen so far, and the ability to play it in this Vi deck actually is probably going to give me a reason to want to play Vi in the first place, because I was kind of struggling to find that reason until we have the equipment revealed, I believe, just today. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of see the vision that they're going for here. I'm very excited to see what the yellow Vi comes out with, see if that's something I'd be more interested in than the Vi hot-headed, but we'll have to see until that. Gents, what are your thoughts on these cards?
I agree. I think I'd rather play set 1 Vi over this. I think it's just being able to, load your discard up with stuff and then go in with one big final turn. Still, you can really overload that Vi to be able to get the legend effect, and even if you have Hextech Gauntlets, you have that excess damage, so you're able to do that well with that. But also we have a lot of good stuff in yellow. We can go into some kill spells to be able to make things a little bit easier. And I just think that this Vi is probably one of the more fun legends we have from this set so far. In my eyes, I think there's a lot of opportunities you can do with this for deck building. We've seen I wonder if there's a hook variant in here somewhere. I doubt it. That's kind of just where my mind. That's true. I've been playing a lot of hook recently.
Trying to put hook into everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Every yellow deck,
I'm just gonna hook everything. Maybe that'll be my thing. I'll just make hook work. Anyways,
I'm gonna pump Vi to 6, and then I'm gonna hook the Vi.
There you go.
You just gotta pump it to 5, and then you can hook into a harness dragon. Oh, there you go. Anyways, but I think Hextech Gauntlets is great. It's one of the best equipment we've got. I think the +3 is being able to kind of really help that. It's also great. The equip 3 and then be able to reduce its cost. You're really not going to probably be attaching this to anything with 2 might. So it's basically going to cost just a regular equip cost, which is either power, which I think is nice being able to. How do we have, besides Rabadon or Orin, is this the first equipment sig spell? Spinning. Oh, yeah, duh. That. Anyways, we're gonna
pretty good one.
Yeah, that yeah, pretty much. Anyways, I think this is obviously one of the best equipment we have. Great that it's a signature spell. I think if this was outside of Vi, this would go crazy. But yeah, I like this. I like Vi a lot. I think she could be fun. I think we got to see a few more cards that will really hook me on her. But I'll let Gail talk now.
I think this package of cards actually look really good. I think these all synergize really well together. The only problem is that her colors really don't contribute to this game plan. I think if she was in any other color combination, I could see her being played, but I don't think these colors are helping her in the slightest. All she needs is one punch first in her deck, and I think she instantly goes up a tier. But because she doesn't have that, I don't really see a world where she can be super viable, unfortunately.
I thought she should have been orange red.
Yeah,
that was orange red would be what I thought for Vi. I was very surprised that she was coming in yellow. I mean, not lore wise, right? Like, she is a police officer. It makes sense that she's going to be order, but it didn't make a lot of sense for me with how they then planned this legend ability.
Yeah, we got like against the odds or equipment, and if we put a bunch of equipment on one person, then we're like not being able to get to other battlefields, or we're just super weak to removal. Yeah. So it's really tough colors for this idea to live in. I think that's
this is a deck we have to keep in the back pocket and just see, like, okay, when are we going to get stuff that actually makes this then viable in the future?
Definitely. I mean, against something like Victor, I could already see this deck being great. right? Like it's going to have its matchups that it's just phenomenal in because they put a lot of low powered units at a battlefield or one low powered unit at a battlefield. You just smite over that thing. They have to adjust their game plan. Maybe they can't adjust their game plan. So it'll have its good matchups for sure, but I don't think those good matchups will end up being what the metagame is, to be honest. All right, we can go on to the next one here. Got another cool one. We got Lillia Bashful Bloom. She is a calm and mind legend. Has 4 energy, tap, play a ready 3 sprite unit token with temporary. You might recognize that from Sprite Mother, has the exact same. This ability causes 1 less for each friendly unit with temporary. So the more temporary units you get drummed up on your battlefield, the cheaper that Lillia ends up being. Pretty interesting ability. Very, very cool. We've got a champion unit, Lillia, the Protector of Dreams. She's calm, 5 energy, 4 might, champion unit. She is Lillia. She is... Oh, I can't read those.
Iona.
You guys read those ones? Ionia and Faye. Lillia, Ionia, and Faye. Faye is actually going to be a cool tag at some point, I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of stuff that's tagged Faye so far in the game. When you play a token unit, give me +1 might this turn. Your tokens have tank. That's pretty cool. Tank being a keyword that we have not seen too much impact for, but is very strong. Like there's a lot of very strong tank units in the game, and the keyword itself is very strong. For her signature spell, we do not have her second champion unit yet, but her signature spell is, I think, one of the strongest that we've seen in the game so far. It's called Lilting Lullaby, signature spell for Lillia. It's 2 energy and 2 power. Reaction, counter a spell. Its controller can't play spells this turn. So it just floodgates out their spells for the rest of the turn. Very similar to Brynir in red for a specific card type, though, because it's less impactful than Brynir in that vein. But Lilting Lullaby is, I think, top 1 to 2 best counter spells in the game. Like, maybe third, actually, in my opinion. Best.
It's kind of there.
You know what I'm talking about already, Gil. I have 2 that are above this one, but this one is a very strong counter spell, and especially getting printed into a signature spell for somebody like Lillia, I think it will get a lot of use.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the deck construction itself, there's a couple of ways that you can build this deck. I know, Gail, you tend more toward the control side of trying to build Lillia with this. I tend more toward the aggressive side of trying to use the sprites early to just generate free points and hold everything in base for like final push type things. Or use, honestly, the sprites are some of the best traders in the entire game. They can just trade so effectively into your opponent, what your opponent is trying to do. That I really enjoy them, and you can play cards like Sprite Mother and Sprite Call, obviously, get your Lillia down. When you're Sprite Calling, it's 6 for 6 ready might, which is pretty good. Like 6 for 6 ready might, being able to split it 2 ways is just good value. So I like Lillia a lot. I think she's going to be quite good. I don't know if she's going to be top meta contender, but I can definitely see her being like toward that A tier type deck, kind of like Victor is in this Spirit Forge set.
Yeah, I definitely see Lillia as like we've been talking about, like a Victor just needs a controller that's going to really push it over the top. I think that's exactly what I see in Lillia. I think we're going to see a lot of people attempt to try it. I think it's going to be a rather complicated deck, but if someone really hones it in on this deck and tries to figure out what she is really made of, and if we get like one more card that brings out some sprites, I obviously relying on her legend ability, relying on Sprite Mother and Sprite Call. 3 cards, that's 6-7 cards. Total in the deck they're gonna bring it. Okay, Gale. I tried to move past that professionally, but I think I would like to see if like a card more that if you can have 10%, near 10% of your deck that is able to get out a sprite, that makes me more confident in this deck. I hope that's my one thing. I think 7 cards in the deck. 7, you have the 3 Sprite Mother, the 3 Sprite Call, and then Lillia. I think then that is good in and of itself. But if we get one more thing that can bring out some sprites, then I'm satisfied.
We can also be in this deck. I've seen people try to put the LeBlanc everywhere at once in it as well, which has some interesting applications. I don't know if that's exactly where it'll land, but it's pretty interesting. I think this deck is just missing the blue. I think the blue has to be the CC. This green Lillia doesn't fit with any of the curve for anything that I want to do with her. In both sides of the coin, I'm just like, I don't want to put this in. So I think we just need the blue, and then that'll solidify where she's going to land speed-wise.
Definitely, and I would agree with that. If the blue like leans toward control, she's definitely going to be control. If it leans toward aggro, she's probably going to be aggro. It's just how it is. And personally, like Teddy, you were talking about the sprites of this deck. I don't even think the sprites are important, to be honest with you. The thing that's important is just the fact that you have a readied sprite every turn that you want one.
Yeah.
That's the like really value proposition that this card brings, because like we saw Sprite Mother's impact in set 1. It was in Kaisa lists for a long time before eventually being cut. It was in Victor lists. It was a lot of blue decks really spec'd to Sprite Mother just because it's so strong of a tempo play to have the body back and have the Sprite in. This is half of that, but it's half of that you get to choose at any point in the game, which is very strong.
Well, we just read it like a Sprite Call. Like we've put Sprite Call the card onto Lillia, which can't be a bad. Like it's one energy more. But I think that's a fair tax for having constant access to a card. I think that just sounds good anyway. If you put a spell onto a legend that's already like pretty okay, good. I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, so that's why I think Lily is probably. We'll see what the blue is. That'll very much impact where we end up putting this. But I think she's really good. I think she has some solid potential behind her.
I could definitely see the blue one having something to do with making a sprite for some, like an addition, like maybe like a cheaper cost, and it's like an additional cost. Play a ready sprite or whatever, something like that.
I did my Lillia list right now is on triple blast cone Fae, and it is very fun, let me tell you, because you just rush the sprite into the battlefield. They come in, they have to beat a break point of 7 to get over your sprite and your blast cone Fae, and in early stages of the game that's just not happening the majority of the time. So it's a pretty fun little combo, and you get to flip the blast cone if they don't contest it to hold the battlefield, akin to how Teemo did in the first set a lot. It's an interesting deck. I like it a lot. I'm excited to test it out more. Next legend for us, this one is exciting for a lot of people, a lot of Diana fans out there, and we've got everything we need to look at this legend. So Diana is going to be a mind and chaos domain legend with reaction, tap, add 1 energy, spend this energy cost only during showdowns. So kind of akin to how Darius with Legion adds an energy. She adds an energy, just has a different condition to be met. You don't need to play a card, but you do need to be engaging in a showdown in order to get this extra energy. We have a chosen champion in blue. This one is personally my favorite. It is 3 energy, 3 might, Diana Lunari. Champion unit, she is a Mount Targon, as well as Diana tag. When a showdown begins here, you may pay 1 energy. If you do, predict, which for those who do not know, is our new keyword on units. It is akin to vision on spells. It acts in a similar way. If you do, or well, both ways actually. I don't know why
vision. The issue is vision was specifically a when you play me trigger, and predict is doing the same action but at different trigger timing.
That makes sense. I was very confused by that. Like just reading through that confused.
Yeah. I saw in your head, you're like, that did not sound right, but I said it.
It didn't sound.
Eli's wheels were spinning.
Yeah. So anyway, if you do predict, then reveal the top card of your main deck. If it is a spell, draw it. So just like our battlefield we got last set, Ravenbloom Conservatory, this is doing a similar thing for you here. I think that this unit is awesome. We'll move on and then come back to this one. Diana, no longer human. Another fun epithet one. 4
That's gonna
energy
be easy. Gil's never gonna give us that one.
4 energy, 1 chaos power, 3 might. It has ambush. You may play me as a reaction to a battlefield where you have units. And when you play a spell, give me +2 this turn. So any Magic the Gathering people are going to be very happy with this one. This is just prowess for Magic the Gathering. It's similar in other card games as well, but this is a very loved effect that has been around for a long time in a lot of
This is an
MTG
game designer bringing this into Riftbound, 100%.
It's a fun one for sure. I mean, it's the same thing as Ravenbloom, right? +1 per turn whenever you cast a spell. The prowess effect is strong. Then you've got, for her signature spell, Moonfall. It is a 3 energy, 1 power, Action. Choose a battlefield where you have units. You may move up to one enemy unit to that battlefield. Then give enemy units there -2 might this turn. An interesting card, an action speed charm that has some utility, but maybe costs a little bit too much. I'm going to open the floor up to you guys. What do we think about this?
Yeah. In general, Diana, like each piece is like okay to fine, and none of it ever breaks a mold that is impressive. One energy is really not that impressive in the grand scheme of things. We have legends that are giving you like 25 energy in a game, right? And that's legends like Sivir or Kaisa, which are getting you accumulative energy throughout a game because of how power interacts with energy, etc., etc., etc. So one energy a turn is like really not that much. It does like it is doing cool things, like it's stacking with Diana. We're giving like outlets for this energy, which is cool, but I think each piece here is just slightly underperforming. I think the deck looks fine overall. I think it'll be like a Jax tier deck. You know, it could make top 8 with some person really dedicated to it, but it's not really a powerhouse.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have
real quick,
go ahead.
Eddie, before you jump on this, something that I wanted to mention about the one energy thing with Gale. I agree with your point, and I think that is really highlighted by how people look at decks and how people deck builds. Because the more aggressive players are going to look at one energy and say, "Well, okay, I didn't need one energy 3 turns from now when the gold was going to give me the one energy payback. I needed my one energy this turn when I'm going to like curve out or play more aggressively." You know what I mean? And on the back end of it, the control player is always like, I don't need the energy now. What's the point in that? I'm just going to wait until my value has given me that energy over time. So that's just an interesting way that people kind of look at and review cards that I wanted to highlight, because I've seen it a lot in just the creators that have already reviewed these cards in the Riftbound space, and they're kind of different takes on them. It's cool to stylistically see how people rate things differently. Sorry, Teddy, continue.
No, you're good. I think if this anything, I don't know what this deck is going to be. I was trying to come up with a thought, but I really don't know. I don't really like Diana just overall. I think it's not my playstyle whatsoever. And so I don't really see a world where I play this. I think obviously like this could be a deck that people are going to have success with. I think there's a lot of fun with it that can be had. But in my opinion, I just don't see a world where I'm pushing myself to play this. It doesn't scream at me. So yeah, that's my short and sweet thought.
The deck archetype she's been playing as has been like blue purple aggro with conquer focus, where like Teemo is a blue purple aggro hold focus. She's a blue purple aggro conquer focus. So it's pretty interesting. It's very different than Ezreal, right? Because he's doing control, Teemo's doing hold, she's doing conquer. So it's a different flavor for the colors. I don't know if the color supports that necessarily.
I think most of the decks that we see add an energy are always going to be more aggressive leaning, like Darius ended up being in set 1, and like Diana's going to end up being, and because of that point, right, where it's like, man, I got to use this energy effectively, and the best way to do that is to play an aggressive strategy with that energy. So for our last one that I am presenting today, we have one that has caused a lot of division in the community already. Poppy, the Keeper of the Hammer. It is a body order legend. When you hold, gain 1 XP, spend 3 XP, and exhaust me, draw 1 card. I'm going to let you sink in real quick with that statement for this Poppy legend. But we do have one other thing for Poppy so far. We are missing both chosen champions. Don't let Twitter fool you. Not one of these chosen champions has been out so far. We have the Keeper's Verdict is our signature spell for Poppy. 2 energy, 2 power, action. Choose an enemy unit at a battlefield. Its owner places it either on top of their main deck or bottom of their main deck. Top or bottom of their main deck. I think this card's really good. I think that this signature spell is very solid. We've seen this kind of effects in a lot of different trading card games be incredibly impactful. And I would imagine that this will be as well. The only issue with playing the signature spell is that you will be having to play this legend alongside it. And I think that the legend is incredibly underwhelming, unfortunately. Unless we see a crazy set of chosen champions that really put this legend into perspective somehow, I think that this one is just going to be kind of the guarantor of this section, which is unfortunate. I think Poppy's a really cool character.
Same colors too. Yeah.
Yep. Same colors indeed. I mean,
she can't be guaranteed here. She has a rebuke in body orange or
no,
body order.
Guys, how
true.
can I
like
hook
it's
this?
very good. How can I hook this? You can't hook anything yet because there's no revealed chosen champions.
Yeah.
And I think legitimately though, if she does get strong chosen champions that justify playing the deck because of the signature spell, you probably can just play it kind of like as a blank legend ability and be fine. Draw one card a game and kind of chill. But
be okay with it.
This one is not doing it for me.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I've talked about XP a lot. I think this is a great time to put in like my XP eval philosophy currently. From what we're seeing from effects, we're currently evaluating XP generation at about 0.75 in energy. So like it's worth 0.75% of an energy, or 75% of an energy. Wow, math is really bad at the moment. We're evaluating it at 0.75. And XP spending effects are evaluating the XP that they're spending at about 0.33. So this means that we are losing value energy-wise for every XP that we're spending, because the effects that we're using it on are just not as valuable as what we're giving up to get energy out of our deck. So I think there's a ton of opportunity cost when playing with experience, because you're just leaving better cards off the table just to make XP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Please, Teddy.
I think we'll talk about it here in a second. The two other XP decks that we have are just better than this. I don't think XP is going to be anything like amazing. I don't think it's going to be the forefront of the meta, but I think it's going to be fun. I think there are going to be people, including myself, who are going to try it and just see how it feels. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like any new mechanic. It's going to have to be played around with and messed with to see if it actually is a viable strategy.
The battlefield is a good start that we got revealed today, which is you can tap units at the battlefield to gain 1 XP. That's an okay effect in hold decks that are trying to get XP. I wouldn't say an excellent effect, but I think it's probably one of the better XP generators that we have right now in that style of deck. I mean, what is your other one? Like Hunter's Machete?
Green or orangey. Orangey is like really good.
Yeah. Orangey is I would say he's the best one.
Yeah, he's like the bar.
He's the best one, and I don't think that they're like Nyla doesn't work for me. Yeah. She's just understated for what she costs to accelerate in, and so I think that currently we just don't really have the means to generate the XP in a meaningful way. Yeah. And that's going to put these decks really far behind. So I'm hoping that with these reveals, we see some ways to generate it a little bit easier. Although I will say, if we do find ways to generate it very easily in orange, I am not looking forward to playing against that E deck that can just have everything enter ready. So I'm hoping that like they somehow balance it out, but not too much that it kind of pushes it over the edge. Because I also think I think the mechanic is awesome. I think the XP mechanic is a very cool mechanic. It's very thematic to League. It fits a lot of the champions that they're going to be bringing into the game, but it's just kind of underwhelming right now. I'm with you on that.
I think that's how any like TCG, when introducing a mechanic like this, it's going to be underwhelming from the start because we're not used to it. And this is, again, I said it earlier, this is going to be one of the things that we just need to see the rest of the set, because I guarantee you there's a gaggle of more cards that are going to deal with XP. We have a few like 2 drops and 3 drops that the Mainstream Diplomat is a 2 cost, and when you play me, gain 1 XP. So like you're gonna start rolling there. But
that card is also bad.
That's exactly the card that I use when talking about this eval. It's like, okay, we're putting Pit Rookie. We're taking Pit Rookie out of our deck to put in this. And it's just like,
and we can value Pit Rookie at a full energy because of Lee Sin Legend, right? Like,
well, you have to give like the legend tax, right? There's
there's a little bit of a legend tax.
Yeah, that's why I land at like 0.75 generally, because like Machete is doing the same thing, and Hunt is like, yeah. It's just rough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's something that we'll have to see.
For those listeners who have not looked at any of the cards yet, we haven't talked about Hunt. Hunt is a mechanic in which you conquer onto a battlefield, and when you conquer or hold, you gain 1 XP, or however much the Hunt value is. You'll gain that amount of XP.
Yeah. So let's look forward to with Hunt.
Yeah, Teddy, I think it's your turn though. I think that was my last one I got.
Yes. We're going to start with Ivern. This is Eli and I's Token deck is. I'm excited for this. I think this
I'm
is.
playing 0 tokens in this deck, Teddy. I hope you're
Well,
right.
okay.
Not a single one.
Not token. Go wide. You know it. Small shit. But Ivern is a green-yellow legend. His epithet is Green Father. When you conquer or hold, you may exhaust me to replace that battlefield with a brush battlefield token. Brush battlefield says bird, cat, dog, Poro, and Ivern. Oh, I just went forward. What in the world? Oh, guys, technical difficulty.
Green Father's coming back. Don't worry. Taking a break in
Green Father
in
got
the forest.
Why is it going so fast? Why is it stopping? Stop.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
I can't figure
this out. This Ivern legend though that we're talking about right now, I'm just gonna say before Teddy dives into the rest of the stuff, my gosh, am I excited to play this guy. This is probably my most excited legend to play. I don't think he's gonna be crazy good, but he's gonna be fun. Very fun and can do some legitimate things. Like I've theory crafted this deck already, and I'm taking most games that I play. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. The brush battlefield says bird, cat, dog, Poro, and Ivern units have +1 in brush. It can be swapped back when scored. So this doesn't, and you get to obviously play that when you conquer with anything, but if you conquer again on that battlefield later, you can replace it. But more or less, if you're doing that, then your opponent has probably already gone in and switched everything back to whatever battlefield it was before. No, this we are still looking for rulings. Like Aspirant's Climb was something that this was a big question about. We don't know what it's going to be at. Whether Aspirants will, as soon as it's flipped over, will make it so the entire game has to go to 9, or if you replace Aspirants with Brush, then it goes back down to 8. That was kind of the big thing that we were trying to figure out, is whether Aspirants will make this like a 9 for the entire game. We don't have that ruling
I didn't
yet,
even know that was a question. I thought it was just an effect on Aspirants, right?
I don't think it should be a question. It's pretty clear that Aspirants is a passive effect that's applicable while,
because it doesn't stay at the start of the game or at the start of the first beginning phase.
That's what people were thinking, is like, is this going to be changed so that? But I don't think it will be. That just like negates the whole card text. So something there. Anyways, moving on to the rest of the Ivern. We have the 2 chosen champions. It is a Ivern Nurturer, is a Ivern Ionia unit, 5 energy, 1 power for 4 might. When you play me or when I hold, look at the top 3 cards of your main deck and reveal a unit from among them and draw it, or cycle the rest. If you revealed a bird, cat, dog, or Poro, do this, buff a friendly unit. Great. I think this is very solid. If every single unit you have in your deck falls into one of these categories, you're going to be getting buffs every turn. And then you have Ivern, Friend to All. This is the epic. It's also Ivern and Ionia. 6 might and 6 energy. As you play me, choose bird, cat, dog, or Poro. I gain that tag. When I conquer or hold, score 1 point if your units have all the following tags among them: bird, cat, dog, and Poro. So you are going to play one of all of these, more or less, in the deck if you're choosing to play the yellow one. For me, I don't know which one I'm going to go with yet. I haven't really figured crafted yet, but I know I want to. Eli, I'll let you go first because you looked into this deck more than I have.
Oh my gosh. This deck is so fun. Green Ivern's a main deck card. Yellow Ivern is probably the chosen champion for me, just because Yellow Ivern applies a lot of threat to your board state. Just having it in the chosen champion zone, they constantly have to be keeping tabs on what kind of cards that you have. Green Ivern has felt pretty good in testing so far, just being able to find the missing piece that you need. But man, the legend is by far the best part of this deck. He is amazing. When you are going in and you're brushing these battlefields that you specifically are negative battlefields, right? But the negative effects just don't apply to you at all. It's really powerful. Your opponent gets stuck in Viomaw's lair. You can move your units out, no problem. Your opponent has to pay 1 more for every creature they play the next turn. You don't have to pay anything at all more for the creatures you're playing. So the legend ability is amazing. It's very thematic to Ivern. I love it. I think that both of the chosen champions aren't the best things in the world, but I don't really think they need to be honest with you. They're still like, Green Ivern's going to be a 6 after you buff him and put him into a bush. Yellow Ivern is going to be a 7 when he goes into a bush, if he's going into a bush, or if he's defending at a bush. either way, most points you need to score off of this yellow Ivern is just 1. If you just score 1 extra point, the game is just out of hand for your opponent a lot of the time, in how that tempo works out. And I will also add, Stalking Wolf is an insane card. That card has won me so many games of Riftbound so far. It's the 4 and 1 energy yellow order card where you have to kill a bird, cat, dog, or Poro, and then he has ambush and you can play him to wherever you're going. That card has felt absolutely absurd. It's very, very strong.
Where's the comma in Ivern Friend to All?
Comma in Ivern Friends All is when I conquer or hold comma.
Great. So you can react to the trigger with the wolf to get the wolf tag or to get the dog tag.
That has won me 2 games so far.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I didn't think about that. That exact interaction. That's pretty funny.
Yep, because it kills off your extra Poro you have or whatever, right? Because you're playing a lot more Poros in this deck than other units. Because there's more out right now. And get that extra point and win the game off of it. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I definitely think this deck has so many different things they can do. And again, this is the deck that's just going to get more fun as time goes on when we get more of these tags. And I think this is obviously opening up the gate to where we are going to see these tag decks come into play. We talked about Faye earlier. I think Faye is going to get a tag at some point on a deck. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about this.
Yeah, I think Eli said at the beginning that he didn't think this would be like the best deck. I think this could this is second best deck next to Leblanc.
That's I was putting it at 3rd. So I wasn't putting.
Oh, you have Lillia there?
I have Lillia in 2nd.
Yeah, no, I think Ivern's really strong. I think this effect to blank the battlefields is crazy with aspirants. Like that interaction is just like unfair to a level that's absurd, right? I think he looks great. I think, and we still don't even have a Sig. With his Sig, it gets even more like if that Sig is remotely good.
I'm going to put out a prediction right now, just so the audience here, you can check me if I'm wrong on this one. I think when we get a Daisy reveal, Daisy is going to be a unit. So it's going to be a signature unit. I think it's probably going to be a 4-cost unit, and to kind of line up with this 4, 5, 6 that we have with Iverns here. And I think that it's going to be at the beginning phase. You can add 1 tag to me of bird, dog, Poro, cat.
No.
That is my prediction. So we'll see if it comes true or not.
Yeah.
The one I had a train of thought and I don't remember what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. Moving on. Any other thoughts on Ivern before we move?
I just think with the 2 best decks in the format being like both yellow decks, I think we need to give some more love to purple.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wait till set 4 and we get yellow and purple.
True. Oh my gosh. We'll get there next week, Gale, when we discuss all of the cards that purple got this.
Whoa.
That's why we're talking about the legends. We don't have to think about those right now.
Yeah,
out of our mind. Out of mind, out of sight.
All right.
We can talk about a purple card now. A purple-ish card. We have Kha'Zix, Void Reaver, orange purple. When you win a combat, gain 1 XP. You can then spend 1 XP and exert to buff a unit. Spend 2 XP and exert. Move an exhausted friendly unit from a battlefield to its base. Then we have the Epic Champion unit, 5 cost, 1 power, 5 might, has Kha'Zix and the Void, Evolving Hunter, has Hunt, which is one of the new keywords that we have. Then when I attack, you may spend 3 XP to deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit. Here, I am definitely thinking this is the better XP deck out of the 3 that we have. We'll talk about Yi next, but I think we have cards that can gain XP, but again, like Gale said, is this going to be something that we want to take other cards out, like the buff or something? Because would you rather try to gain some XP, or would you rather buff Kha'Zix and spend 3 XP as game goes on? I don't really know how good this is going to be. I think this is probably going to be a lower tier deck if I had to predict it. I think obviously you have access to purple, so have to wait on bans and see what happens there for that to see if this is actually going to be something that can be viable. If you're going to have the ability, you're still going to have the ability to draw through your deck. Like that's not going away. This now has access to a counter spell, which is also great. But I think if we see like any XP destruction, which I think we should see something get it. I don't know if we have anything yet. But I think if as soon as we start seeing XP destruction, even on the liminal scale, this is going to just negate what any of this deck is trying to do. We don't have anything yet that's going to be able to really push that. We have the green Yi, or not the green Yi, the orange Yi that we'll talk about, but that has Hunt 2 on it. And obviously that's great. So that will probably find its way into this deck. But other than that, it's just not great in my opinion. Thoughts, guys?
I like Kha'Zix a lot, actually.
Oh.
I think his legend reads really good. I just think he needs the tools to make it good. Like getting the XP for combat's good. This is helping like on a minor level to make up for the fact that XP generating like cards are dog. And I think these effects are fine. Buffing is a nice modality, and then being able to move something back is very good. You can combine this with a card like Yone. And now we move in Yone, we get our 2 XP somehow, pretend we can. And then we move him back, and like that's a really strong play pattern to have.
That was actually my exact card I was going to point out, Gale. So nice hit on that one.
Exactly. I think there's a lot. There's good worlds where these effects are strong. These effects are good. It just depends on what the chosen champion is, because this one's not it, Chief. And if the signature is fine, and if we have even like slightly more efficient hunt units, I think it can see a decent bit of play. It's not going to be leading the meta, I don't think, but I like this card. I think it's ugly as sin, though. This legend is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like it's so like I don't know. It doesn't even give me the Kha'Zix vibes. It's really weird to me. I do not like it at all.
I will say
it's like glossy. It's like a little transformer Kha'Zix.
Yeah,
I will say I think we're gonna get a equipment that is like +1, and when I conquer, give gain 1 XP. I think we'll see something like that. I don't think we don't see an equipment.
I think that card is bad.
Have you seen Machete?
Yeah.
Have you seen
Machete?
Oh, is it not on here? I'm looking at
Hunter's Machete is
exactly
the same exact cost as Doran's Blade, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
right?
It's the same cost as Last Rites.
Correct. The same cost as Last Rites. And the kind of dichotomy of how you look at Last Rites and rate Last Rites versus Hunter's Machete is actually like stunning. It is stunning. And on Hunter's Machete, they value the hunt on Hunter's Machete at a full energy because Doran's Blade gives you the same stats for 1 less full energy. That's where Doran's Blade was coming into my brain. I was like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have something, but
yeah,
that's a valid point. I looked at it.
I don't hate this champion unit. I probably wouldn't ever play it in my chosen champion zone, but like I could see it in some metas being fine. If they're gonna put things on the battlefield, like we're doing these hold strategies, right? And you somehow have a way to get this experience in a magical world efficiently, I think it's fine.
I mean, if I can generate 5 experience a turn, this card's great.
Yeah, right.
But can I do that? No,
absolutely
close.
Not. Absolutely not. Yeah,
I get a green Yasuo for 1 turn.
I think this is just worse than Yone in that same inhabitable space. Yone just feels like a better card to me.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on to our other XP deck, our second repeated legend and champion for the game. We had Vi repeated, and I guess Vi never really had a legend, but Vi had a unit. This is our first repeated legend. Green orange, Wuju Master as always, and then this one is level based. I think this is actually just a very cool design. I love this. If you are level 6, levels have to indicate how much XP you have. If you have 6 plus XP, you're at level 6. Yada yada, whatever number you're at, that's what level you're at. Level 11, your units enter ready. Orange E, this is the best, one of the better chosen champs I think we have in relation to what we have with our legend in this set. It is 4 might and 4 energy, tempered as Master Yi and Ionia. Hunt 2, so obviously being able to do so much with that XP. That's probably the best XP generation we have in the set so far. And is that level 6 or is that level 8?
Level 6.
Level 6.
Yeah, there's no
at level 6, or when you are at level 6, I have Deflect and Ganking. So that is going to be able to unlock a lot of things. You're able to get some XP generation quickly. And then we have the green Master Yi. Master Yi Unstoppable has the same keywords. It is a 12 cost with 3 energy and 12 might. I know, a lot on paper, hearing that, it's a lot. But this is where things get interesting. At level 3, it costs 2 energy and a power less. Level 6, I cost 4 energy and a power less. Level 11, I cost 5, I believe, or is it 6? I can't read it.
6 energy.
6 energy and 3 power less. And level 16, I can't be chosen by enemy spells and abilities. So this obviously is great in and of itself. Do we have the XP generation to get all the way up to level 16? I don't think so, but that's beyond the point. And then we have Alpha Strike, which is a signature spell, 3 costs with a power associated action. Choose a friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might, split among enemy units at battlefields. Then for each unit this kills, do this, gain 1 XP. This is honestly not a bad signature spell, I don't believe. I think this is actually going to be able to do a lot in this deck. It's probably going to be one of your main XP generations. But that being said, in this deck, in this meta, how much are we able to really be able to get enough damage dealt to be able to kill a lot of things? You can punch first, and obviously that you're going to be able to do some combat tricks there. These decks have discipline and on guard and the likes of those. So you will see stuff like that in these decks. But again, is that generation going to be too slow, or is you're going to spend like that? I don't really know. Eli, you obviously have a thought.
Teddy, I think you're making a big assumption here, and I need to nip that assumption in the bud.
What's the assumption?
Why are we playing this Yi over the Proving Grounds Yi?
True.
The orange Yi or the green Yi?
The legend.
Legend.
Oh, I guess that's available. Well, I'm not even I was not even really talking about that. I was just saying, I was talking about the card. That was more my point. Was 100%. How is this card going to work? But yes, you would play the Proving Grounds Yi over this.
Evaluating, I think that all that this package of cards does is make Proving Grounds Yi a better deck.
True.
In my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like that is what this package of cards is doing. The Master Yi Tempered is just Fiora, yellow Fiora, right? With Hunt 2. So it's slightly worse than yellow Fiora because yellow Fiora can just move it to Trifecta and work him and get the benefits immediately, right? Or get a buff and get the benefits immediately. That is much easier to accomplish than the 6 XP goal that we have with this Yi. But this Yi is probably a better chosen champion than the Yi that we currently have in the chosen champion zone for Proving Grounds Yi.
Yep.
Live on turn 2, he's just good. 4 energy, 4 might chosen champions are just good. Yep. Alpha Strike is a far better signature spell for the Proving Grounds Master Yi deck. I think that's probably just what we're going to see. Is we're going to see Proving Grounds Master Yi, Master Yi Tempered in the chosen champion zones, and then Alpha Strike in the deck.
Yep. Yeah. And guess what? We got great new Aurora hits too. There's been a lot of decks playing like PG Yi with a 4-cost 4 CC and then playing like Desert's Call. So they just have early game tempo and then they put an Aurora on the board. And it's like, this was exciting. I'm so glad I played this game.
Desert's Call is an excellent card. It went under a lot of people's radars because it was only really getting played in Azir and some of the other like nicher decks in set 2. But that is a great card for a lot of these decks that need to have that early board presence to survive the early game. And so we're going to see that a lot more. And you're totally right, Gail. Aurora is looking scarier and scarier by the second.
I see people trying to play a lot with the XP, and to me, it's just like, why? Why are we sacrificing deck space for XP cards when we don't need to do any of that? We can get a very similar ability from PGE at turn 2. And instead of having to work for ability that's slightly better, it is a better ability. +1 to everything is better than +2 on defense alone, that's for sure. But I mean, at the time of this game that you'll get it, I'd rather just have something active immediately turn 1.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
I definitely think this is, like I was saying, it's just kind of, if you wanted to play XP, it would be fun. I think there's an avenue, but like you said, Eli, the Proving Grounds Master Yi is just simply better. You never saw Highlander being played, as that was the Proving Grounds signature spell. So just most of these 2 Yi packages together in ways, and you have a pretty solid Yi deck, I believe. But moving on, our very last legend. Thank you all for being on this marathon with us.
We appreciate it.
Rengar, Pride Stalker, red, orange, and then when you play a unit, give a unit +1 this turn, and then it's CC. One of the CCs we have is 5 cost, 1 power, 6 might. Rengar, Ixtal, and Cat. Rengar, Trophy Hunter, Ambush, and then I can be played to a battlefield where there are enemy units, even if you don't have units there. So obviously, just being able to play this surprise attack goes along with how the red Rengar was from set 2. So very thematic there. Other than that, it's just like it's meh to me. I don't really have many thoughts on this.
Whoa! Back up.
My play style doesn't.
Meh.
Meh. I'm gonna say that it's meh.
I've been enjoying a bit of Rengar. I think Rengar is actually really interesting. So the current ruling with Rengar Trophy Hunter is that you can play him like a Deadbloom Predator in your opponent's turn. So you can score like a point off of him in your opponent's turn, which is pretty interesting for one. If you find like beginning triggers, you can play him then to get that point. It's pretty interesting. But more than that, like playing Rengar is a lot of like hidden cards. Like Pyke is my Rengar card. Being able to bring him out in the middle of my enemy's turn, and then I give a +1 to a unit that's on a different battlefield has been really good. And like I think this Legend's actually surprisingly interesting.
It's cool to me. I like the concepts that it's going for, and I think that it is going to be a mechanical player's kind of like dream deck, where a lot of it is you have to really be able to exploit the rules knowledge that you have to be able to properly play these ambush cards at the correct timings. And like really being able to like scout out your opponent's turn and figuring out exactly what they're going to do, because they can very easily just like pass, right? And if they just pass and you don't have anything to be able to flip to then react to, it's a pretty rough situation. But if you're playing a Pyke and you can be like, okay, well, I have something that I can at least ambush this in if they do anything, and if they're just passing, I'm getting a point still, then it's fine. But yes, this deck is also really interesting to me. I'm excited to see what the other legend is going to be and what the signature is going to be. I think that this deck could be really, really cool. Now, will they make it really, really cool? I'm not entirely sure.
I have faith in the Sig.
We'll see what the Sig is. I was trying to rack my brain for like what the signature spell could be for this champion, and I was struggling a little bit. I will not lie with just trying to figure it out. I actually thought that perhaps a signature battlefield could be cool for this champion. That like gives Rengar some specific benefit on this battlefield. But obviously, then you can only play it once a match, right? So it's awkward.
The next card you play has ambush.
Yeah, I think it'll be like
that could be cool.
I think it'll be like a reaction speed here to help card from hand.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think something like that is what.
Then the bigger issue is though you need card draw to support what you're doing, so we need to find card draw avenues.
The beans, the fresh beans. It's the fresh beans. It's the freshest beans.
You can't make me pay 2 for that card. You can't do it.
It's the beans. You know you love it. It's the beans. I'm putting the beans in Pyke too. The beans are going. I was super down on this card, but I put it in Rengar, and I'm like, okay, these are the freshest beans.
Oh my god!
I saw that card, and I was like, I saw beans. And I'm like, this is gonna be memed beyond infinity.
I played Spirit Wheel, and I was happy with that.
Oh, I like Spirit Wheel. I do.
So I get beans.
Spirit Wheel is a good card,
and it's better Spirit Wheel. Just like conceptualize it that way.
But
Bean Wheel.
With Spirit Wheel, I could use my MF and draw a card every turn. I can't draw a card every turn off the beans.
I can, because I drew a Pyke cub off my bean and I hit it.
Okay. No, I see. No, I got you. Okay. Yeah. This is another we draw the correct cards in the correct order deck. I don't know how I feel.
I have yet to drop a bean. Okay, I'm just saying. I played it for one game.
Beans. That's what I'm gonna name this episode. Beans. Anyways. Thank you again, all, for coming on this absolute marathon with us, going through all the legends. Next week is going to be probably another marathon. We're going to have so many more cards to talk about. Probably have some more thoughts. We'll go over the rest of the packages and what we get there, kind of fully scope out that. But yeah, we appreciate you all listening. Eli, where can everyone find you?
Oh, they can find me everywhere that I tell them. Every episode, battle-tested TCG, everywhere. Look me up, you'll find me. I'm going to post some really fun Unleashed Theorycraft decks I've been working on. Going to play a couple more games with them, try to figure them out. But man, I'm super excited for this set 3. I think they knocked it out of the park thematically for the most part. So it's definitely has been more exciting for me than set 2 was. So I'm pumped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Gale Wins Riftbound at YouTube, and I've been doing daily reveal videos, ranking every single card that comes out every day as they come out.
Nice scuttle crabs, not stars. It's wonderful.
Scuttle crabs.
Yeah. We got a new system.
You guys should see him in the Discord, and every single time he's like, "We done? Are we done?" And then new card comes out. he's like, oh crap.
Yeah, what, we just give up at some point. The video has to leave the. But yeah, it's been super fun. Go check out there if you want my individual thoughts on everything.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. If you want
Apparently I'm
Gail's
doing
unsolicited,
over numbers too
if you
later.
want Gail's unsolicited advice, go to his YouTube channel. You guys can find me at Limited Teddy on Twitter and YouTube. You can find us at Super Mega Riftbound on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. SM Riftbound, and then TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Super Mega Riftbound, Spotify, Super Mega Riftbound. We appreciate you all for listening. We will see you guys next week for episode 16. Enjoy the rest of Unleashed spoiler season, and have a good day, everyone.
See ya.